Children, as I told you, now I'll be telling you that which all topics we are going to cover up in this chapter. So the first topic that we are going to study in this chapter is changes in tribal life. Children, this changes in tribal life will tell you that how colonization led to changes, severe changes in the lives of the tribal people. Then second part that we are going to cover is construction of a railway network cutting across tribal lands. Children, in this topic you will be reading about how the annexation of various lands and how the policies of the British to establish or to bring up railways for development not of the Indians but development of the British rule over in the country. These people, the British or the colonizers, those who were there, they started cutting the undertaking the land of the tribals under various policies that they had made, and they started construction of railway network. Then comes the third topic, that is British policy towards tribes. Children, when you will be reading about the British policy, you will come to know that the British policies which were made to control the tribal groups across the country were so harsh that people ultimately had to revolt. The land area, the forest areas where they were living, these land areas were put under severe control. Several laws were enacted, and because of the enacting of these laws, it became very difficult for the tribals to live in the forest areas. Their homeland was now had become a strange land for them. Then after that we'll be reading about various revolts. So the first revolt that we'll be reading about is the tribal revolts in eastern India, then tribal revolts in central India, Chota Nagpur region, then tribal revolts in northeast, and last topic that we are going to cover in this chapter is the causes of tribal resentment. I hope, children, you enjoy this chapter, because this chapter unfolds many chapters which tells you about the aggression that the tribals have for the British. British, though they are not no more here in the country, but because of the policies initiated by the British at that time, till date these people are the sufferers. Children, if we talk about the tribal people, these people, they live in communities or groups. They lead a life that is closely interwoven with and dependent on nature. However, the tribal people are careful never to overexploit nature. Tribal people own land collectively. We have already learnt about the, we already know that they are called Adivasis or the original settlers. Now, what happened towards the, if you remember in your previous class, you read about the, Ahoms and the Gonds. Now, towards the later half of the medieval period in India, by around 1500, tribal societies had started forming kingdoms, some of which became powerful, like the Gond kingdoms of Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. Now, children, when we talk of the colonialism and tribal societies, especially changes in the tribal life, when we talk about it, Children, when we talk about the changes in the tribal life, we generally talk about their lifestyle. Like if you see, many of you must be knowing that before the arrival of the British in the country, these tribal societies which were there, they completely thrived upon the nature. Whatever was available to them naturally in the forest, they made utilization of that. Whatever they were eating, the raw material, whatever was available there in the forest, they were making good utilization of that. Now what happened, like they also worshipped the mother nature. They believed that this earth, the land where they were living, was given to them by God, and it is their responsibility to be grateful to them and to show that, you know, gratefulness towards the earth, Mother Earth. They, you know, there were several customs. They used to pay, like they used to pay, you know, several offerings were made on various festivals which were celebrated by these tribal communities. Now, coming to the changes part of your book, if we read it, the tribal people lived in forest and relied on the natural resources which were available to them. These tribal societies had their own unique customs, rituals and beliefs. The tribal people often practiced hunting and good food gathering for their subsistence in earlier times. Subsistence, you know, for mere survival. Over the centuries, many of these tribal communities integrated into the mainstream culture through peasantization. Now, peasantization is basically they became the farmers. They became from the food hunters, they became the food, from the food gatherers, they became the food producers. Now, this peasantization is the process in which tribes starting following settled agricultural practices due to their contact with the mainstream non-tribal societies. It happened in various parts in India during different time periods. In the 19th century, many of the tribes lived in the forests, while some were hunter-gatherers. Others reared cattle, sheep, and led a pastoral life. Once the pasture area of a place got exhausted, they moved to greener pastures. Even today, the tribes of Gaddis of Himachal Pradesh, Bakrawalas of Kashmir, and Raibaris of Rajasthan live a pastoral life. Now, this pastoral life means that, you know, these tribes, they used to have kettles with them. They used to have the kettles with them, and what do you call them? These kettles, those who were there, those which they had, these kettle, they helped them in, you know, several ways. Firstly, they made their utilization for, you know, carrying the goods from one place to another. Secondly, they helped them in cultivation. And children, do you know the kind of cultivation that they practice is called as juming. Juming, you must have come across this term in your geography, if you remember. This juming was practiced by them, which was considered to be a wrong practice by the British. Why it was a wrong practice by British? Because they felt that every 2 to 3 years or 4 years changing place for cultivation will lead to destruction of the land, degradation of the land. That is why British did not approve of this cultivation